30 minutes of power.
Welcome to Top 30 Minutes of Power, a podcast dedicated to encourage, educate, and inspire godly women to pursue their passions, with hosts Jory O'Neill and Nicole Salter. Thanks for coming. Let's get ready to power up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Salter, and I am your moderator for this evening. I would like to introduce our lovely speaker, Jory O'Neill. She is a mom, a friend, and most importantly, a lover of Christ. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Jory.
Shit, what you talking about? We do this together, boo boo. You bugging? What?
Sharing your time, whether it's together or not.
That's true. That's true.
You
Amen.
could have said, I'm chilling with my husband tonight. Take it away.
No. Monday nights we've already dubbed as a grocery store run. So what's up, everybody? I've been on this journey to help anyone who needs help, right? Figure out how to write a goal, why it's important to write the goal. Once you get the goal, how to start creating habits that help you move toward the goal. Last time we spoke, we talked about aligning your goals with God. If you're listening to this and you're like, what are you talking about goals? Go back and listen to the replays of either the lives, hit up the YouTube channel. I did go and update everything, so the latest episode that we did 2 weeks ago should be posting tomorrow at midnight. And our podcast, right? 30 Minutes of Power. So super encouraged those of you who've been following us, those of you who email us and give us your input and ask for feedback and give us suggestions. Super excited. But today I want to talk about what so often happens once we have a goal. So I don't know how many of you can relate to this situation, right? You start the beginning of the year, you have these goals, and you're like, yes, this year I'm going to lose weight, get a new job, start this new business, kick this old habit. And as you progress along, life happens, right? And that could be road bumps, forks in the road. Sometimes it can even result in dead ends, right? You think that this goal is something that you want, something you need, something that you must have, and sometimes it's something that we could do without. And so today I want to talk to you about maintaining forward momentum when life happens, right? And I think I titled tonight's message Amassing Continued Momentum. So we're going to talk about amassing continued momentum. And this, honestly, the title and the structure of tonight's talk came to me when I asked my kids to clean their room. I don't know how many of you are parents, but I don't know if you've ever had the experience where you ask your kid to clean something or to pick something up or straighten something. And you know yourself, like it takes you about 15, 20 minutes and it's done. But for them, it can take hours. And so I, today I took some time and I was like, let me figure out why it takes them so long to do this one task. And I have 4 kids, not saying that all of them have the same level or ability, but I asked them to go clean their room. Did the larger portions. I moved furniture. I assorted the clothes, so they had clothes in the basket. They just needed to put them in a drawer. There were toys. I put them all in a pile. They just need to put them, toys and books, on the shelves where they belong, in the baskets, in the places. They just needed to put the things back where they belong. Super simple task, right? Straightforward. And so while they were doing this task, uh, the my youngest, he's active. He's all over the place. Those of you who follow me on social media, you're aware that on my birthday he had asthma attack. So I spent a large portion of the day in the car at the doctor's office, just by his side with a nebulizer, and he's 3, so this is all like very new to me because none of my other kids have asthma. And so no, Saturday. Um, so you see this backdrop behind me. I was like, yes, I'm gonna have my podcast studio, and we're gonna put a photo studio together. And so I emptied out my whole garage, and I was like, yes, I feel so accomplished, so much for momentum, right? And I'm like, my kids are cleaning, I'm cleaning. Um, and at some point on Saturday, injury happens to my daughter. I'll explain a little later. But today I'm like, all right, so they saw me cleaning all weekend. So I say, go guys, go clean your room. So they're cleaning, and my youngest, he's doing better, by the way. He goes in the closet and he slams the door, and he's pretty strong. And so the door, it's one of those sliding doors. The house is kind of old. It's original to the house, and the door, it comes off the little wheel a little bit. No one's injured, thank God. Everybody's fine, but the door comes off. And my daughter, in the middle of cleaning, she comes down and she's like, Mom, he broke my door. I can't continue cleaning because my door is broken. And then she turns to him and she's like, Why did you break my door? I asked you to get out of the closet. Oh man, now where will I change my clothes at? Where will I store my winter clothes? Like, this is her like having this dialogue with herself out loud. All right, well, whose kid is this? And so she's having this internal dialogue out loud. Where will I put my clothes for winter? How will this? Oh, why did you break my door? You shouldn't have broke my door. I told you don't play in my closet. Why are we? And I'm bringing this up because I don't know about you, but often on the way to fulfilling a task, or to meeting an end, or completing my goal, something happens. Something I didn't plan on happening. Something that it wasn't in my cards. I had no idea it was going to happen. It happens, and I get distracted. I get thrown off course. It stops my forward progress. And so in the midst of this happening to my daughter, she stops. She stops doing everything that she was doing, making progress towards, and she just starts accusing, feeling sorry for herself, feeling self-pity, right? And oftentimes we get distracted from our goals. And when we get distracted, we become accusatory ourselves, right? Why did this person stop you from uh, obtaining your business license? Oh man, how come the bank didn't give you that loan so that you can start your LLC? Oh man, my husband, he's not supporting me in my weight loss goals or in my business goals. Oh, my kids, so why can't they just get their act together so that I can do this next thing? And our forward progress is now hindered by everyone else around us. And I'm not making light of people's situation. Everybody goes through their share of ups and downs, and that far be it from me to minimize your pain or your struggle. But in all honesty, the only person that can stop us from moving forward, leaning a little closer, I'm gonna tell you a secret, is you. You it. That's it. You stop your progress. And I segued a little bit because I was sharing about cleaning my garage. So I had this brilliant idea. I'm going to clean my garage out. I'm going to turn it into a photo studio. I'm going to turn it into the new podcast studio. I'm going to rent it out. And so when I get an idea, it's woof, we going. We going off to the races. And so I spent the week cleaning out the garage. And it's dust and just so much stuff. Organizing, sorting. I got a bag of stuff I'm giving away to Salvation Army. I have some other items I'm going to be posting soon on Facebook Marketplace to unload them, give them a new home, right? And as I'm feeling good about this progress that I'm making, we even got a client. A client came, and my husband was taking pictures. So we got for day one of the studio opening, we got studio rental and we got a client, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Let's celebrate. Oh wow, this is awesome. And life happens. My daughter, my 4-year-old, who energetic, lively, just active. She's on monkey bars in the back, and she's trying this new trick, and she slips Boom, breaks her arm. My 4-year-old broke arm Saturday. At the end, the tail end of this photo shoot, while we're going through the photos with the client and asking them like, which ones do they like, if they want a new look or whatever, my 4-year-old breaks her arm. Needless to say, the photo shoot stopped. Everything stopped, and I first aid. I got a little training, so like put it in the sling, stabilized it. We went to the hospital, emergency room. Boom, boom, boom. She's in a cast now. She's gonna be in a cast for about a month or so, maybe 6 weeks. Um, Life happens. Was not planning on my kid breaking her arm. I can tell you that much. But it happened, and I was like, all right, well, now I have to. She can't go to day camp. She can't finish the camp out with her friends because her arm's broken. She only has one arm. I have to, postpone the podcast again because she only has one arm. And, and oh man, like the cleaning that I wanted to do inside the house, I started outside. I got everything out, right? And I want to sort it out. I can't do that, right? I wanted to uh start promoting my book I just wrote. Launched it end of last month. I can't do it. Like everything that I plan to do, right? Now, mind we make plans, the Lord determines our steps. I was like, I can't do it because I gotta, my kid, my kid, my kid. And I don't know how many of you, like, honestly, if you're really honest with yourself, use your child as an excuse for why you can't get certain things done. Again, I'm not minimizing your situation. Some of you are in really tough spaces, and it doesn't matter what type of kid you had. It's tough, right? But others of us, if we're honest with ourselves, there's 3 reasons we haven't really gone after the goal. One, we're not really sure what the goal is. We haven't figured out the goal. We haven't really like pinpointed our dream. We're not sure of our gift, right? So we're not sure. So the uncertainty leaves us stuck. Two, we don't know how. So we know what we're supposed to be doing. We feel secure and confident that we are fully aware of what God has purposed us on the earth to do. We just don't know how. Three, we know how, we know what, we're just afraid. Like that fear thing is real, man. It's real, right? And so my kid's arm is broken. Can I do anything about that outside of making sure she gets the proper medical care and that, she's free of any additional trauma to the bone area, right? We're keeping it dry, doing all the necessary things that, the post-care things have asked us to do. Outside of that, there's nothing I can do. Pray for her, make sure she's comfortable, right? Like I slept with her the first 2 nights just to make sure she didn't roll over on the arm, right? I'm doing what I can do. Um, but there's nothing more that I can do about that. And it took me about a day and a half to come to that realization that that's out of my control. And because it's out of my control, I should feel confident because I can give that to God. Because if things are in God's control, they have a much, much better outcome than when they're in my care, be honest with you. Right. And so I could have used all these reasons, all these excuses legitimately, right? Kid, broken arm. Like no one would be like, oh, it's okay that you didn't do any of the things you had planned to do. You gotta take care of your kid. Um, but my hashtag for this year has been keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep showing up for my kid. Keep showing up for myself. Keep showing up for the women who I'm helping. Keep showing up. I have to keep showing up. And so I like practicals. They help me. I want to share with you 3 things that help me to accumulate and amass continued momentum. The first thing is remembering my goals and or my purpose, right? And so Again, that's why I started with the importance of writing things down. Um, Writing is super powerful, right? So write it, recite it, and readily review it. So you can write that down. Write it, recite it, and readily view it. Um, I keep my I keep my goals. I keep the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing. I keep my affirmations in my journal. All right, in my journal, I read them, and this is like a daily habit, right? So I have to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, because when life happens, and it will happen, I have to continue momentum, right? And that may look different for many of you. The second thing is removing distractions. Um, I didn't realize how much time I spent on like social media and whatnot until I put this little app on my phone one day, and it calculated like how much time I screen time. They call it screen time, and this is for Androids, Apples, whatever. It doesn't matter what you have. And once I saw the numbers, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like 6 hours. I could do a lot in 6 hours. So I removed the distractions by turning off some of my notifications, by like uh you can do certain things on your phone to make sure that it's not a distraction. But there's also distractions like people. There are people who are super negative, super negative. And anytime you share anything good happening in your life, they either want to one up you or they want to tell you why it won't work out. I know you know people like this. I know you know them, right? Other things that can distract us are some of the activities that we engage in. I mentioned just going on social media too much, but activities could be if you are an individual who desires to save money and get out of debt, uh, gambling is not a good activity to engage in if you're trying to save up money. If you are an individual who wants to lose weight, maybe going out every weekend with your friends and consuming alcoholic beverages and fatty foods, maybe that's not the best activity, right? And then there's just plain unhealthy habits, right? And we're gonna get into the smoking and the excessive drinking, um, and porn too. Be honest with you, but I'm not. We ain't gonna talk about that today. We'll save that for another episode. Um, so remember your goals. Remember your purpose. One, again, write it, recite it, readily view it. Second thing is removing distractions. Could be people, could be activities, unhealthy habits that you have. The third thing we need to do in order to make sure that we amass continued momentum is to resume quickly. Life is going to throw lots of curveballs. There are going to be times where you're going to need to take a pause. You're going to need to take a break. You might need to stop for a little bit, not a long, a little bit. But once that time is over, resume quickly, right? The longer you stop, the further it'll hinder your forward progress. Um, so for me, uh, I I've been doing the lives and the other podcasts that I'm doing. I took a little break for the summer, really trying to focus on finishing the book, getting it launched, getting it out there, and doing the live comedy show. So I said I'm not gonna do everything. I'm just gonna pick two things. For me, that was big, just picking two things. So I focused on those two things. But I realized I had all this content and I didn't edit it. I didn't post it, right? So I went to edit. I hadn't edited in about a month, right? I edit all the podcasts, sound quality, blah blah blah. I couldn't figure out how to edit the podcast. I was editing 3 podcasts weekly, and after a month, I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh man, I think I might have to call Ron and ask him to walk me through how to do this again. But I was out of practice. I did not resume quickly. There was a very long pause, a very long dull, and I figured out eventually, but it took a lot longer than it usually does because I had to reacclimate myself to it, right? Some of you, shots fired intentionally. You used to be heavy in the church, man. Like they had to drag you out of that bad boy every Sunday. You first one in the building, last one out, and now since the pandemic, you don't go back. You cool with online church. Nothing against online church. If you are unable to attend any churches in person, online church, that's what's up. But if you're physically able and you posting pictures of you in a party at a picnic, but church is now a burden to attend, well, I'll say that for another episode also. If you started building your business at the beginning of the year and for whatever reason, maybe you lack the confidence, maybe you lack the skills, maybe you feel like you lack the knowledge on how to do so, and you stop forward progress, I'm going to challenge you this week to take massive action immediately, immediate action this week, not next week, not next month, this week. Actually, matter of fact, what right now? Do me a solid right now. I want you to write one thing. Write down right now one thing that you can do that will help you get at least even an inch closer to whatever that goal, that dream is that you had at the beginning of the year. You had the beginning of the month, you had the beginning of the summer. One thing that you could do to get you a little bit closer. And I want you to commit to yourself that you're going to work toward that thing. Right? Just the one thing. Doesn't have to be a whole bunch of things. Doesn't have to be 7 steps. Just one thing that'll get you closer. For me, I needed to upload it a properly formatted cover for my book in order for the paper copies to come out. Those of you who asked about the paper copies, the paperbacks will be coming soon. I did the one thing. I submitted a properly formatted cover. So I'm just waiting on Amazon to, give me the word that we're good to go. And then boom, y'all go ahead and cop those. But the one thing, don't let the one thing stop you. If I was able to, one day I'm gonna figure it out. I would have inserted pictures, right? I would have showed y'all pictures of my daughter since she broke her arm. Um, at the hospital, she was a trooper. She was a champ. Her arm was broken, and it hurt. And they they had to do what they had to do, and it was not pleasant. I don't like as a grown woman. I was like, I can't. You brave, baby, because that sounds like a lot. It looks like a lot. No, that's a lot. And I've had 4 C-sections, so like I was like, that's a lot. What's happening? That's a lot for a little baby. That's a lot. Um, and the next day, I asked to say, hey, you wanna stay home? Right. Next day was church. Wanna stay home? She said, no, I wanna go to church. Cool. Church is at the park. It's like, you sure you wanna go to church? It's at a park. I don't think this is safe. This ain't a good idea. She's like, no, it's okay. I won't do anything. And so we got to the park, and initially she's looking at all the kids running around, and she knows she can't run. He ain't running. Nah, nah, nah. See all the kids climbing and swinging. I'm like, nah, don't even. Nope, nope. And so bravely, she goes over to a group of kids who are writing on the ground and coloring. She's right-handed, and she broke her right hand, so she picks up her crayon with her left hand, and she starts coloring, and she's not complaining. She's not arguing. She's not fighting. She's not upset that she can't do what she usually does. Her forward progress for the next 6 weeks is going to look different. Right? It's going to look a little different. But she's up for the challenge. She's making forward progress. Um, Later that afternoon, my husband and his family, they were getting together to celebrate my cousins going off to college, University of Albany. And she sees a ball. I'm big sports head. My daughter, she kind of takes after me. And she's like, Mommy, can you help me? And I'm like, can I help you what? She's like, I want to learn how to dribble with my left hand. My right arm is broken, but I want to learn how to dribble with my left. And I'm like, all right, talk about resilience. Like, you just broke your arm yesterday. You trying to dribble. All right, that's what I'm talking. Like, I've never had a prouder mama moment probably in my life that I can remember right now. But I was proud because she didn't let it stop her. Now, I didn't tell you that Saturday earlier before she broke her arm. She went to basketball for the first time and she loved it. She's so excited about going back. And she's like, Mommy, when I go back to basketball, I'm going to be able to dribble with two hands instead of just the one. If I couldn't give you a better imagery of the type of faith and resilience that we need to have as adults, then my 4-year-old, like, that's the best example, the very best example. She could feel sorry for herself. She could sit in a corner. She can whine, cry, and complain, just like many of us do when things don't pan out the way that we planned, the way we expected, the way we anticipated. And I want to encourage you all, do whatever you need to do whatever you can to turn the obstacles that life throws into you into opportunities. My right-handed daughter having a broken right arm is an obstacle to a lot of stuff, but she's being creative and innovative in the ways that she continues to live her life now in this different way because she's looking at it as an opportunity. And how did she do that? Right? Like, so I'm not going to front and be like, oh, my child's a genius. Like, no. Her dad and I, like Ron and myself, my husband and I, were very strategic in what we spoke to her, how we spoke to her, what we shared with her at the hospital. We framed everything from a positive perspective. We said, baby, you're not going to be able to do the same things you used to do, but now you get to learn how to do things differently. You get to learn how to use your left hand. I said, baby, you now get to learn how to become ambidextrous. If you learn to use the left side of your hand, you also learn to use the left side of your brain, right? And this will help open up doors of creativity. Now, I'm not a doctor. That could be all lies. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I had a doctor on the phone. I don't know. Joyce, if it's a lie, you tell me in the chat. I don't know. But she ate it up. She's like, oh, this is an opportunity. All she needed was that stimulus to have a different mindset about how things were going to go. And so now she's like, oh, opportunity. Huh. Oh, so this is a new opportunity. This is a new opportunity. Instead of these are all these limitations. So again, my challenge, write the one thing that you can do to get you a little bit closer to your goal, a little bit closer to your dream, a little bit closer, just a little bit. Because I guarantee you, if you shift your mindset, take immediate action, all those obstacles that you've been seeing will become your new opportunities for success. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, this is Jory O'Neill. Hopefully I've been of help to you. If I can assist anybody further in terms of growing, learning, achieving, right, mastering, mindset, whatever, please hit me up. I'm on all social platforms at Jory O'Neill. And I'd be more than happy to help assist you. My goal, my mission, my purpose, my why in life is to be an encouragement to all humans. The specific group I feel that God has blessed me to serve are women. So again, Jory O'Neill, 30 minutes of power. I'm stopping the live feed. God bless you guys. See you next week. Peace.
Thank you for listening. We pray you have been empowered by the message. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, join our free Facebook group, AZ Iron Sharpens Iron. Every Monday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, meet us back here for another session of empowerment. Share this episode with another woman who needs to be empowered. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, be an empowered woman using your power to empower others.
30 minutes of power.